Okay, so for our second lesson in this third week of remote learning, we are going to do the half angle identities, and like last time, being able to find the ratios based off of a given triangle. So make sure you have some reference sheet so you can refer back to these. You do not need to have these memorized. If you notice here though, these have the plus and the minus because we need to be able to determine what sign they're going to be after we simplify them, meaning we're going to have to determine what quadrant it's in. So if I find this, so it says x is in between pi and 3 pi over 2. So if you think about that, that's here in the third quadrant. That means both sine and cosine are going to be negative here, right? Because they're both negative. So then sine ratio is -3/5, and then cosine would be -4/5. So if I go back to my ratios, or I mean my identities, I want to find the half angle of sine. So the sine of x over 2 equals, and we're going to determine plus or minus in the end here, 1 minus cosine x all over 2, okay? Which in this case, cosine x is -4/5. So we have 1 minus -4/5 all over 2, which then is 1 plus 4/5 all over 2. So I'm going to make that, let's see, 5/5 plus 4/5 over 2. And then 9/5 over 2, which then would become 9/10. And so if you think about our simplifying, I'm going to move over here. It becomes the square root of 9 over the square root of 10. So 3 over the square root of 10, which I think the assignment has the denominators rationalized. So it would be 3 square root 10 over 10, okay? That's what it looks like. So then we need to determine, is it going to be positive or is it going to be negative? So if you think about, again, like last time, we just pick a random angle. So I'm going to pick an angle between 180 degrees and 270 degrees. So a nice one that's off the top of my head is 200 degrees, right? That's in between. Well, if I take half of 200, that's 100. Well, that would move it up to here, right? So that actually sine, it's positive. Okay, so it started out negative, but it's going to be positive in this case because of where the original angle is located. All right, so like last time, we're going to do the same triangle. We're just going to check all three of the ratios. So -3, -4, 5. So then the cosine of the half angle, so x divided by 2, is 1 plus the cosine of x over 2. So here, that's going to be 1 plus -4/5 over 2. So 5/5 minus 4/5 over 2, which equals 1/5 over 2, which gives us 1/10, which then would give us 1 over the square root of 10. So it would give us the square root of 10 over 10. And if we think back to like last time, if I picked that 200 degrees, well, we're moving from this third quadrant into the second quadrant now. Well, x is, right, cosine x is negative here. So the half angle cosine ratio is going to be negative. All right, so then let's do tangent. So we're going to use one of the identities. So if I go back, again, like last time, you can use either one of these. I'm going to use this one, or actually, I'm going to use this one because of things that canceled out. All right, so doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to use the sine. Or no, I starred one and then I already forgot. Having a Dory moment here. All right, 1 minus cosine theta equals, or cosine x, 1 minus cosine x over sine x. All right, so we have 1 minus -4/5 over -3/5. So 5/5 plus 4/5 over -3/5. 9/5 over -3/5. So copy, dot, flop. The fifths cancel out. So we have -9 over 3, which then would reduce to -3. So that would be the tangent, okay? And again, if you think about what quadrant we were in, since here one's positive, one's negative now, that would make sense for tangent to become negative. Or like last time, right? The tangent of the half angle is also the sine over the cosine, which here, that would be a little harder to do the copy dot flop, but we can do that to check it. So if I do that, sine is 3 square root 10 over 10 over negative square root 10 over 10. So if we copy, dot, and flop this here, these all cancel out and we get -3. So either way is okay. But again, the downside to doing it this way is you have to find both the sine and the cosine half angles. All right, and then one last example here. What if I said find the cosecant of the half angle? Well, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, so we can find the sine of the half angle and then make it the reciprocal, and therefore we can get it. So let's practice that. So if I have that the sine, or I have this, I need to find the hypotenuse. So 5 squared plus 12 squared is 169. So this is 13. Let's do the sine of x over 2, which here it's 1 minus cosine, so 12/13 all over 2. So we have 13/13 minus 12/13 over 2. So 1/13 over 2. So 1 over the square root of, or 1 over 26, which if we broke that out, it's 1 over the square root of 26. And remember, cosecant is the reciprocal, so I don't need to worry about rationalizing my denominator, and so it would just be the square root of 26. All right. There is the end of our lesson on half angle identities. And so make sure you do the Schoology assignment that goes with that.